I've taken off my microphone. Sorry about that. I was hoping I could do this next section without any sound because, anyway, so you can't hear me very well. Sorry about that. Maybe I'll try to hook it up later. Believe it or not, I expect most of this oil glaze to be cool, to be blue. But I want to do the warm stuff first, then I'll come back and
I'll be back, man. Good.
plug you in on the fly. I'm not sure this works, but I'm gonna try it. Hi, Heather. Yeah, I missed the beginning. Good. You'll come back, catch it later. There. Can you guys hear me? Heather, can you hear me now? I think I've just turned my microphone on and plugged it in. Let me know if that's making sound for you. I've never tried to plug it in midstream. Okay, great. Thank you, Heather. One real quick tip. It's a universal tip, but in this case, it's real simple. When you're doing a landscape and you have sky blue all the way across, try to make it one color blue at one end and a different color blue at the other end. And this is a perfect example of that because it's a simplified sky here. Used up all my liquid. I need to get some more. By the way, I use liquid gel almost exclusively because you don't have to put it in a cup. It's a pile of stuff and it stays right there on your palette without running away. So most of the time it's a liquid gel. They make liquid light that's runny. And I said I don't like it because then you have to have a cup to hold it. I don't want a cup. Yeah, a little bit more darkness down here at the bottom, and then I'll be ready to do some lifting stuff out. Okay, that has a nice glow to it, I'm happy to say. Take a minute to clean these brushes. They're so cheap, it's almost not worth the time to clean them, but okay. Okay, finally time to put out some white, titanium white paint on my palette. So that up until now, that's an instruction for those of you who are trying to do this style. Don't even put your white out on your palette before this time because your brush might accidentally, one hair gets in it and man, all it takes is one hair in titanium white to create all manner of mud. So don't even put the white out till now. It's time. Actually, I said it was time and then I'm not going to do it yet, so I guess it's not quite time. I'm going to rag a little bit. Where do I want it lighter? A little bit in the sky. The values are almost, I find them almost exactly the way I want them without doing any rubbing. So I'm not going to do much, evidently. You know what? Now that I did that though, I
So do you have an office where you sell those at?
I normally I am in a gallery. I'm in several.
Oh.
Little Art Gallery in Cameron Village. Are you familiar with that?
No, I don't. I'm
Where do you live?
here.
Where do you live? Where are you from?
I'm from California, but I moved here. I live in
I would shake your
Montreal.
hand, but I'm trying not to give anybody a cold.
Okay.
So welcome to Raleigh.
Yeah.
Good to have you here. Yes, I'm in one of the better Raleigh galleries, a couple of the better galleries in town.
I'm enjoying it.
Good, thank you.
Watching you paint that from afar.
Good, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now that I've done that, though, I discover I want some color back in this sky. So I'm doing some. Oh, I can't stand painting with one hand. But I need to find a brush that is dry, not wet. I'm not sure I have any. More yellow. Oh, too much yellow. I just do that so some of you will know that you're not the only one that happens to. A little more yellow. Oh, too much yellow. Has that ever happened to you? Too much anything? Too much blue? Oh, just a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Just want you to know you're not alone. You are not alone. Happens to everybody. Okay. I think I like that all right. The next thing I typically do is I either draw with brushes or I draw with pencils. In other words, pencils and brushes or brushes and pencils. And I never know why I choose one way or the other. Very intuitive. So let me look. I'm trying to decide, pencils or brushes. I think pencils. I was very close to going brushes, but at the last second, no, pencils next. Yes, you can draw faster with two pencils than one. Sometimes precisely twice as fast. You can make twice as many lines in the same amount of time. Just in case you were wondering. There it says yes. Okay, let's go up here. Again, the pencils provide a little bit of similitude, of realism, of drawing, but a lot more just texture, just interesting lines. So it's more important that the lines be interesting than that they be accurate. But of course, overall in the painting, of course, accurate drawing is quite important. You probably can't see those lines that I just drew in the sky. They're very light, but there's definitely lines just crossing through the sky. Why? Because the painting looks better that way. Why? Because they look like they were done with joy and enthusiasm and energy, which in fact they were. So it doesn't bother me that they look that way. Plus, I'll probably come back and play around with those lines later in the painting process. Probably. Don't know for sure. But I very often do, if I have time. Again, I don't know if you were here at the beginning. I'm painting at a function, an event, and I have exactly 1 hour to finish this painting. I think I'm doing all right. Okay, so I'm done now with pencils. Now I'm going to move to dark details with brushes. Thankfully, not a lot. I've got just about all the dark I need in this painting, so that's a nice situation to have. I don't have to spend a lot of time adding more dark stuff. Just a little bit here and there, like suggesting that these are bushes or trees down here would help just a little bit. And perhaps, let's do some more windows in this dotty building. I mentioned earlier that when you're doing repeated patterns, like repeated motifs, like windows, you want to try to come up with several different techniques for rendering those windows, those repeated techniques. And that several different techniques spills over from one layer to another. So, like right now, the painting that I'm doing right now is different. The brush strokes have a different feel than the earlier one, so that's good. Okay, this building, the tall one in the middle of downtown right here, everybody knows is very decidedly blue in color. It's covered basically with blue tinted glass. It looks blue almost any time of night or day. So I want to make sure that I'm reflecting that fairly accurately, because all the locals will recognize that. They'll recognize if it's not blue. Have a lot of time. I'm supposed to be done in an hour, and of course the last phase of my painting process is the slowest phase, so I'm going to try to leave myself as much time as I can for that last phase. Thank you, man.
I was up in there a couple nights ago. I had a lot of drinks. Oh, no, that's one, yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, close. Okay. Next layer, fuzz layer, glow layer. Is there anything in here that I want to be glowing before I go to hard edges? Not much. I'm happy to say it's already glowing pretty much. So I'm going to go straight to hard edges and do soft edges whenever I think I need it. I work on a glass palette, by the way, and use a straight razor to clean it up periodically. So right now I'm just cleaning up all those messy mixed colors I've got all over the place. I tend to be kind of a neatnik when it comes to my palette compared to most artists. I'm not recommending that. It's just my personality. Everybody's different. I don't think you need to worry about if you're a messy palette person. If it works for you, keep being messy. And getting out some titanium white for the first time. I always put several piles of white out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just put out 8 little piles of white instead of one great big one, because you're going to mix yellow with one pile and blue with another pile, red with another pile, and you don't want them necessarily cross-contaminating. So if you make all the piles separate, they stay a little bit neater. Okay, last layer. I think I'm going to tackle bits of the sky just to get a few edges. I mentioned the other day when I was doing a cityscape that the way my eye sees a city is the tops of the buildings are usually sharp and crisp, and it's as we go down, it gets soft and fuzzy. Yet some of the artists that I admire most do the exact opposite of that. The tops of their buildings are always awash in, fog and mist, and I like that too, and I've done some like that. But that's just not the way I see a city. Maybe someday I'll grow up and start seeing it that way. But here again tonight, this is going to be somewhat crisp, and it's all fuzzy as we get closer to the horizon. So I'm mixing up some opaque sky colors just to come in and do a little bit here and there, a little bit of sharpness around the edges of the buildings, defining the buildings just a little bit more. Trying to be very cautious because it'd be real easy to do too much of this. I don't want hard edges everywhere, just a few here and there. And of course, the color changes everywhere, so I can't just mix up one color and go with it. So let me get some violet on my brushes. They had orange on them, and I just, without cleaning them, I put violet on them, so that that means it's dirty purple on my brushes right now, which is working fairly well. Still working with dirty brushes, just mixing up all kinds of dirty colors to match. So if you've watched me very much at all, you know that I'm bonkers about transparent colors, right? Everything on my canvas right now is transparent colors, except for the colors I'm doing right now, which is opaque or almost opaque. So even though I like transparent so much, there's one thing that's better than all transparent, and that is, of course, a combination, a mixture, some transparent and some opaque. So that's what I'm doing right now, is the little bits of opaque that provide a very interesting counterfoil balance to all of the transparent stuff. Oh, good. Thank you. And then sometimes in the middle of this almost perfectly smooth sky, I just come in with a little bit of cloud shapes, real subtle, and it works quite well. Just that right there, that's probably enough. Although I'm going to add a little bit over to the right of this building. I have to be really careful not to get carried away with clouds. I love painting skies. I can paint very realistic skies, did for many years, and love it. But a realistic sky would be totally out of character for this painting. So I need to be careful and just keep it abstract. Make my clouds the product of marks, not the product of, so sorry. Whoops, not good to run into rich people holding drinks. That was actually, don't want to say anything, but that was that lady's fault. She stepped totally into my space. I guess people don't know how artists work, do they? So she figured she could get within 4 and 5 inches of my left shoulder, and it was perfectly safe, not knowing that I back up without notice. Hey, I'm pleased that I've been able to broadcast this much tonight. I didn't think I'd be able to do this much, so that's kind of nice. And I've got about 45 minutes, so I'm doing well, I think. As a matter of fact, I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. So, you know what I'm going to do? I don't feel this very often. I'm feeling a little bit of pressure from my audience, you guys. Let's see if I can come see some of your comments. Oh, this is nice. Hello, Heather. Welcome back. Good. Yeah, it sounds better with my microphone. Hello, Raven. Haven't seen you in a long time. Good to hear from you. I am downtown, Emmanuel, at something called I forget. Downtown Raleigh in the new warehouse district, not the old warehouse district, the new one by Whitaker Mill at a fundraiser. Actually, they're not raising funds tonight, which is unusual. Hello, Mark. Good to hear from you. Yeah, turn down your volume, Mark, so you don't get caught at work. Hey, yeah, dude, Brisbane, man. Invite me down to do a painting of Brisbane, Mark. What is the green in the bottom right? A park. Down here. No, it's not green. It's actually a highway in snow. But it looks, the way the painting is working, it just fades out and works all right in person. Thanks, guys. So I'll be back, I hope. I hope I'll be back in a little while, but I need to paint for just a few minutes. Forgive me, without your company, so I can think about what I'm doing and step away from the canvas. Thanks. Talk to you soon, I hope.